Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Becoming Your Own VIP, Mind, Body, and Soul. I'm your host, Rebecca McCants, and today I was thinking about a lot of things, especially this last week. I want to title this Footsteps in the Sand, because if you've listened to my other podcasts, I've been on a journey. We all have been, and we haven't even known it. Before, we thought it was just regular everyday life that we're going through. But these choices that we make each day determine our destiny, our path, what can go right, what can go wrong. Well, add to the mix when, you awaken to spirituality on a level that you've never even known or experienced, due to whatever has happened within your life. At some point in time, you have nowhere else to go but to seek God. And you find, as I mentioned, all the little missing pieces within you being filled. Well, as God's light fills you, there's darkness that is to be released. And, it's not just a quick magic twist of a wand, or wave of the wand, I guess I should say, that erases and cleans your slate. You have to do that. You have to overcome your heartache, the negativity that your mind produces, and the trauma that's been stored within your body, how you've mishandled yourself, and how to come into loving yourself. And again, not in the outer world, superficial ways, but the inner world, and reconnecting with yourself, coming home into yourself, cleaning your house, facing your demons, no longer placing them in a closet and repressing them, allowing them to emerge and to let them go, to let go of those past shames and guilts, angers, resentments, fears, worries, doubts, negativity that you play over and over again in your mind, whether you're aware of it or not. And again, a lot of us are at some level, which I've announced many times, that subconscious level that we're hiding through negative behaviors that drowns out us needing to face those things. So I was thinking the other day, and I was thinking about trials and tribulations, and our good days and our bad days, we all have them. But whether you're on a healing journey, and that you're knowingly on a healing journey, or you're just going through your life, those times when we fall down and we got to get back up and brush ourselves off, those times when sometimes we might be down for the count, or we feel like it, or maybe we're just down a little bit longer than what we have wanted. And what it means to get back up, no matter how many times that we have got knocked down. And how many people really know how many times you've gotten knocked down? Those scars that go unseen because we're good at what we do. Put a smile on our face and progress and move forward in life. And to go forward, not all the time do we address what made us fall down. Instead, we push that stuff down and we'll be like, we'll deal with that later, so that we can keep going. We got bills to pay. We got families to take care of. You have your own things that you need to accomplish within yourself, for your own goals, and you push it down. And, at some point it catches up with you and it trips you. And you stumble. And, even if it's not something purposeful that you're falling down, sometimes, like I said, on a bad day, it could just be the energy of what's going on around you, because we're all energetic beings. We all pick up that energy. And, those are those days when I know I've looked back and seen how far I've come. And, in the Bible, it talks about the wilderness, after Moses had freed the Israelites from Egypt. Well, the wilderness, that's truly all something that we go internally into, a wilderness. It's a long journey and we're having to find our way, which is ironic because we have to find our way in life as well. Like, think about this, y'all. We grow up and the only playbook we have is someone telling us no or okay, and or the emotions that we have that tells us, yeah, I like this, or no, I don't like this. There's no playbook. And for those that have children, oh goodness, we already experienced that when we've had kids, right? There's not a near nobody who can tell us why our baby is crying nonstop at 2 a.m. in the morning and we're just so tired. And we're trying to figure it out and our baby can't tell us what's going on and we're having to figure this out and we're learning as we go. That's what life is. Well, that's what your healing journey is. That's what spirituality is. It's not going to just give you a playbook. The Bible is there, but it is in parables. It is in a way that, again, if you have the eyes to see, let them see. If you have the ears to hear, let them hear. And the mystery is inside of you. And if you've never even listened to yourself, you're a mystery. You don't know everything that you've allowed yourself not to see, whether that is the good or the bad about you. And when that stuff comes to light, the good, great, it's a blessing. But it's kind of like driving a new car. You're trying to get accustomed to it and you want to get a feel for. But when it comes to those things that, you pushed away in that closet and all the stuff just comes pouring out, it's sometimes good to be able to look back and see where you've come from. Because when you're so heavy in that moment, it may feel like you are not made any progress. You might feel a little lost, feel a little stuck. And now I'm not saying to necessarily look back to relive it, but just to see where you've come from. I see a lot of maturity and growth within myself. And I'm grateful for that. A lot of things that I didn't know about myself that I do now know. Physically and spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially. I've learned, I've grown, I've matured. And I'm grateful for that. But then sometimes there's these bad days, heavy energy days is what I like to call it. And you might feel like you're fighting and you don't know what you're fighting. You don't know why you're fighting. You don't know why you feel so heavy or fatigued or drained. And I'm just being honest with you that these days may come, and it's really important to know you're not alone. And I mean that spiritually as well as physically, you're not alone. And, even if you really truly don't have anyone physically, there are things that's out there to support you, whether that's a good book, music, to uplift your spirits, prayer, meditation, exercise, joining a club, doing something that will get you to like-minded people that lifts your spirits, and or podcasts that lifts your spirits. But for me personally, it was prayer, because like I said, ever since this journey started, it's prayer for me when I don't understand something. And when we move forward, it's only with one foot. So when you've got knocked down, when you're feeling heavy or when you're feeling drained, I've recognized within myself, so maybe this will relate to other people, because hopefully all I'm sharing is everything that happens within me in prayer that it's going to help somebody else. Sometimes you just want to lay down, curl up and, go watch a good movie, or, just go to sleep for a second, just to regain your energy, regroup yourself. And that's okay. Cause that's self-care, self-love. You listen to your body. But sometimes it makes you want to stop too. And this is just being real, because, if you don't know why something's happening, this is where that flight, freeze moment comes. There's a tendency to freeze. Okay. And so we, like legit, those 3 words, fight, flight, freeze, is real. And, a healing journey doesn't mean, like I said, that your slate is clean. But it does mean you become emotionally aware that you're doing it, where before you may not have. And now you're consciously saying, okay, like this is what that is right now. Okay, I hit a little freeze. Your mind wants to be a little cloudy on you. Your judgment might be a little shaken. You might have lost a little confidence. And I literally have to remind myself, just take a step. Because there's these pictures, when you see in the Bible and spiritual scriptures about the footsteps, and, how God's walking right alongside you and stuff. He is. Because like I said, he's within us. And it's about having faith on the journey, that no matter what, when you get knocked back down, he is helping lift you back up. And that prayer helps you to stay in that connection, the meditation, but also you taking that step forward anyway, not giving up, knowing that whatever is going to happen, I'm going to be okay. And when I first started this journey, that's exactly what I had to do. Get up and exercise when I didn't want to exercise. All these things that, the slow diet change, removing TV, removing these bad habits. It just takes a step, because, that is, again, something that's very much so ingrained in you. And it's a comfort. It's something that you're used to while dealing with these things. And so if you're falling down, you might want to fall right back on in to your comfort zone. So that's, again, where your consciousness comes in, where your awareness comes in, that's what you're doing. And you catch yourself before you do it. And that's good. So now, like, you're putting your hands out, you're catching yourself before you full-fledged fall on your face. That's beautiful. And eventually it's just going to be a little quick stumble. Ooh, oh, y'all didn't see that, kind of thing. And you're going to have more pep in your step. And again, one day you might fall again, and you might have forgotten what it feels like to fall. But that is one of those things we learn from, it keeps us humble. It keeps us, aware of what tripped us up. What decisions did we make? What could we do better? And, get up, brush yourself off, and take that next step. And again, if you got to do a baby dip toe forward, go ahead. But you don't have to do a big leap. Sometimes you do, though. And, I can tell you those big leaps, it's like taking your first step on a bridge if you're scared of heights. I was. And so, that's one of those moments you're like, okay. And it might be a little shaky. It might be a little wobbly. You might have to look straight ahead. Don't look around. So there's going to be challenges that you're going to face that you might be in freeze mode. Like, I'm not taking that step. I'm not. And whether that is something you're currently going through, I can tell you, I would say that I'm currently going through that. It's called change. And make a change, you have to take a step or a leap. And that could put you in that fight, flight, freeze mode. And that's one of those things why I wanted to make sure I got this out, because in the end, it comes down to faith and belief. My whole journey, I had no idea what was going on, but because of faith, I'm like, Lord, okay, you got me. Don't let me go. And then you just go. And that is belief. That is faith. And, it has worked out. It really has. The only hang up I could tell you is me, that will stop anything. And when you, again, go back to your past, any forward movement that was for the betterment of yourself, the only thing that ever stopped you was you. People could say whatever they want, but they didn't chain you down. They didn't throw you in a cage and throw away the key. It is you. When you pick up something to drink, when you picked up something to smoke, or when you hung around the wrong people, nobody forced you to. When you said words that were hurtful, nobody said not to. When you do something and take a chance on something and it turns out for the good, no one told you to do that either. People can make suggestions all day long and it could work out for you. It could not work out for you, but they didn't make you. And, those are those blessings of lessons, positive lessons or negative lessons, but it's a blessing because you learned. And through your trials and tribulations, through your life, through your journey, you're going to be asked to take a step, to take a leap. And yep, in the end, depending on if you made wise choices or rash decisions, it can come out as a positive or a negative lesson. God might be showing you the way, but if you don't do it, or if you do so unwisely, not fully educating yourself on it, there could be some type of failure involved, but you're going to learn, and that just helps you grow. Because remember what I said, we grow through our challenges. While everything is copacetic and happy and all is well in life, we don't grow as much as we would the minute something happens that's bad, that we're all now shuffling to get ourselves out of, whether that is to help a family member, help ourselves, whatever it may be. How many times have we performed miracles on a short notice, crisis going on in our lives, in our families' lives. We can do that. And you can do that for real in your own life too. But you're going to be called upon to make choices, to make changes that do stretch you, that requires much of you. And this is one of those times when you have faith and pray for guidance, for counsel, for wisdom, and self-development, and whatever that leap of faith is going to be in, to educate yourself the best way you possibly can, so that way that you can move forward with grace, that you can take those steps, so that you can just do what you can every single day, as long as it's moving forward. And that, again, is something that I've had to do. Again, all of us had to do our entire lives and didn't realize it. But once you come into knowledge, what will be required of you? Because it's about growth. Your spiritual, your physical, your mental, your emotional, spiritual, social, financial, intellectual growth. All aspects of your life. And again, you've already been asked of it. You just weren't consciously aware of it. And if you ever look back, look at your key fundamentals of your life and think about how you were rated upon your life and how your life reflected your success or your failure in it. You may not have known you were being scored, but the tally marks were being marked. And your life shows your successes and your failures. And hopefully you can also look back and say what you've learned from it. And again, if you ever blamed somebody, I'm just going to ask you to take the blame away. Look at the situation and see how you were accountable and how you can do better. Because life is a mirror reflection of what's going on within you. And that's one of the reasons why these stretchings come, because that's one of the only ways we're going to be able to grow our spirit. Earth is a school, and we're to learn. And as we learn, as we grow, as we're successful, we graduate, we're going to require to stretch a little bit more. You're going to keep going. You're going to be required to stretch a little bit more. The same as we were in school. You know, when we started in kindergarten and preschool, we had our teachers right by our side watching us all this time. But as we got older and older and older, we weren't guided as much from our teachers anymore, were we? Right? We had tutors eventually, and or we just didn't have those teachers holding us accountable for certain things. And even as we grow up to be adults, it's not our parents that can even though they try, they may not be able to say as much anymore. It comes down to you, because now you're in a period of your own stretching, from a child to middle age, teenage years, up to, a young adult to a middle-aged adult, and going all the way up the ladder, right? You're being stretched with every area of your life, with every transition in your life, from a child to, maybe your first marriage, or as a parent, or friends, your career. Every time you step through an open door, a new path in your life, you are evolving, you're growing. And that stretching is very uncomfortable. It could be a little scary, nerve-wracking, and it helps to look back at those footsteps in the sand behind you to see how far you've come. And again, to know you're not alone. And the journey has quite a story to tell. And I pray that you all, as you grow, as you learn, in whichever stretch of your life that you're in, that no matter how heavy the energies feel, no matter how much the weight is upon you, no matter if you fell on your face or you caught yourself in order to get up and brush yourself off and you kept going, I just want to say congratulations. Give yourself a high five. Seriously, go to the mirror and give yourself a high five. There's Mel Robbins. If you guys don't know about her, she has this thing where she does that. I always tell people to hug themselves, because that's straight up true. You need to hug yourself. It feels good. And in case you haven't heard about hugging a tree, that feels good too. So there's things that you just come out the box. Educate yourself on it. Understand what it means, but just try it. Because so many times that we need a hug, and we don't always get a hug at that moment we want it, or not at all. We don't get a high five unless we're playing sports or something. And if you weren't ever a sports player, you may not even know what it feels like to have a high five if you've not been in a situation to do it. High five yourself. Go to the mirror and cheerlead yourself up. Do what you have to do to get yourself back into high spirits. They say sleep does help reset you. So if you do need to take a quick little nap, take your little nap, get back up. But remember how far you've come, and congratulate yourself. And keep moving forward. Keep your faith. Keep your belief. pray, extend your gratitude, be of service, and I wish you all success in all aspects of your life. And I hope this has helped someone, because I know if I go through these things, if I've went through these things, someone's just about to start, or someone's going through it right now, or you've already been through it, and you know what I mean. You guys have a good night.